Hey everybody, this is Todd Linder, founder of LaunchPoint, and I'm here with Ryan today. And I'm so excited for Ryan to share a little bit more about his transition from his ministry background into the job that he's in now, which he just got done telling me checks all the boxes and more, which is so exciting. But I would rather have Ryan tell you more about that. So, Ryan, would you just share a little bit about where you're at right now and specifically where were you before we got started together?
Yeah. So before we got started, I was at what felt like a temporary job, something I took to find what I really wanted, but then I ended up being there for a long time. And so I was not happy with where I was at. I was constantly applying for jobs. Each time it took 2 or 3 hours of trying to customize my resume, it was awkward, right? And I don't think I was hitting the right boxes. Maybe 1 in 20 of them was getting some kind of response, and I was just feeling really discouraged with the job search. It just felt like it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. So were you like applying to a bunch of jobs, but just not getting a lot of interviews?
Yeah, I'd do the kind of doom scroll on LinkedIn and find something that was maybe close enough and then try to make all my stuff fit it, but I didn't really know what to emphasize or how to get well connected to the job. So it was a spray and pray and there wasn't much moving. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
What would you say? So you're in this process, not getting results, trying to figure it out. What would you say was the tipping point that made you reach out to me specifically?
I had a friend on LinkedIn ask me if I had seen your stuff because I came from a ministry background, and so that he and he didn't go through ministry marketplace, but he was familiar with your posts on LinkedIn. And so I checked it out and I subscribed to the newsletter, and I thought, wow, this content's really good. But then honestly, I didn't want to swallow the price. I just thought, oh, I don't know, money's super tight for us because I'm job searching and I don't know. And then at one point you did a free call, like an open Q&A that I attended. I got a lunch break and I got on probably the tail end of it or something. And I just heard the philosophy and the approach and the fact that you really understood where I was coming from and that I had skills from my ministry background that were legitimate for good work. And it clicked for me that this was a really good opportunity. And so then when I got to hear from you directly and hear what you were doing coming up, the Lord arranged things where we had the ability to do it. And now that I have been through the program, I can say that it was there was no question whether that was worth it, right? It was immense value for me and my family to be able to go through the ministry to marketplace program. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
you subscribed to the newsletter, you came to a
Yeah.
call, we talked together, feeling like money was tight. What
Yeah.
even with extra money and things moving around, that's still
Yeah.
you feel that because you're not making what you want to be making, you're not in a place where you want to be.
Yeah.
Was there something that just made you say, no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna sign up, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think that was the part that made me say this is the right thing for me to do was it was clear that you had a really industry leading, really current cutting edge understanding of how the marketplace job search works. It wasn't, this sounds bad, but it wasn't like this is a Christian version of career coaching. I hate that kind of category where it's like this is good for Christians, but maybe not as good as the competition. But it's like, no, this guy really knows what he's talking about, is a legitimate 100% helpful career coach. And I think I realized that I just didn't know where to apply my efforts and what stuff to emphasize. And it was clear that this process was going to help me get there.
So it was a little bit of like you maybe read some stuff on the website, we talked, and you're like, okay, this feels like we're not just gonna talk some woo woo and maybe Todd's gonna read my resume and change a few things, but there's a process to this that
Yeah.
might actually work.
Yes. Yes.
So went through our process. How would you describe where you are right now?
Oh man. I I got to get connected with a company the whole time I wasn't sure how I was going to make the transition from what I was doing into construction, but I kept circling back to this idea that I would love to do construction. And I got referred through an electrician friend to this company that barely has a website. They're not even really on LinkedIn. But through a lot of the practice I got and how I was able to speak about my skills and work on networking, it just came very naturally. This place, they have great work-life balance. The pay is generous. The benefits are generous. I get my own truck and gas card, and I'm at home by 3 p.m. every day to hang out with my kids. It's amazing. And I'm just learning a whole
We
set
just
of
need to
skills.
pause right there. You are home by 3 p.m. every
Yes.
single day.
Yeah.
Anybody else in ministry getting that every single day?
No.
No? Okay. Just had to
Yeah.
pause there. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's just felt like a breath of fresh air for me and my wife. And I have young kids. This is critical time I want to spend with them. And they're flexible. I have some flexibility in my schedule. So it's just and the other really exciting thing is there's a path forward for advancement within my own company, but then also in the larger scheme of what I'm doing in project management and construction. So it's very exciting.
Man, so happy for you. And even to hear that detail of when you get to be home and being around your kids, because that's one of the things we originally talked about. And the story that I hear over and over again is really one of the few things. I want to be around my kids more. I want to be
Yeah,
around my wife more. I don't want to be gone at nights. I want to be able to be at the important things. And I've kind of hit a cap. And the only way for me to make any sort of move forward financially and responsibility is going to another church or doing a job that I don't want to do or having to forfeit what feels like a calling. But I'm not hearing any of that from you on the calling thing. And
yeah,
because your calling is your family.
yeah,
That's what we were talking about. So
yeah.
gosh, man, so excited for this new season that you're in right now. Last question. If
Okay.
anybody's hearing you talk about this and they're like, maybe it worked for Ryan, but I don't know, kind of on the fence. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that if you're feeling discouraged or lonely in any part of this job search, if you feel like there's a lack of clarity in any regard, that the Ministry to Marketplace program is absolutely worth it because not only does Todd have these great skills and relational capacity to help through that, but also the community that's there was a huge part for me to see other people struggling with certain things, but also having wins at certain things. And then a consistent rotation of people actually getting great jobs and being able to be in the middle of that was incredibly encouraging, maybe more than anything else. So, yeah, after going through the process, just feeling well equipped to and getting those consistent reminders that my skills were valuable and marketable, but that I had to do it in a certain way that made sense to others. And then getting a stream of feedback and encouragement and relatability from people going through a similar thing was exactly what I needed. And I didn't even know that when I started, but seeing it, yeah, the community part was incredible too.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. Don't do this by yourself.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be with me. It doesn't have to be Ministry Marketplace, but don't do this by yourself because that lonely part of the job search is really hard.
yeah,
So glad you had that experience. Ryan, thanks so much for spending some time with us today, with me today. So proud of you, so excited for you again. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you on the next one.